Welcome back. In today's lecture, I am going to talk about the application of vector space. Okay, and what kind of examples I am going to cover in today's lecture that is more relevant in order to understand the modern control theory. Okay, so most of time classes of system I am going to take that is linear time invariant system or linear time varying system. Okay, so you have already, I hope that you are well aware about this fact that whenever we are dealing with some kind of system, at that time I need some kind of mathematical model, and linear time invariant system is modeled using this class of differential equation axt plus but. Okay, and after doing modeling of this I required something. I need the information of state, I need the information of input, I need the information of the initial condition. Okay, now whatever system I am going to consider here, that is multi-input multi-output system. Okay, so I have more than one channel here in this side and more than one channel in the output side. So this is my input side and this is output side. Okay, similar kind of a story is true for linear time varying system. At that time I have just equation that is coming like this at. So a system matrix is also time varying and here bt into ut. Okay, so you can see here that whenever I am going to deal this class of system, I required so many things. Okay, so first important thing that in order to solve this equation, I have to understand that how many states are involved here. Okay, and if you see the previous classes of the modern control theory, whatever taught by Sandeep Ghosh, so at that time you might have seen that if I have n number of state, then we are representing like this, that is in form of column vector. Okay, similarly control, if I have m number of control, we are representing like u1 u2 up to un like this. Okay, and I am assuming that control is also changing with respect to time or state is also changing with respect to time, so everywhere t is implicit here. Okay, after that, in order whenever we are talking about some kind of solution of some differential equation, at that time I am assuming that I have certain kind of initial condition, because how basically we have defined the state, we are telling that okay, if I have some kind of system, if I know the input and if I know some kind of internal variable, then I can able to tell that what is output of this system uniquely. That kind of things we have. So initial condition, suppose initial condition I am going to represent like this: x1 0, x2 0 and up to xn 0, like that. And somehow whenever I am talking about initial condition, this meaning of physical interpretation of this initial condition is all information from the minus infinity to that time when I am going to start my experiment. Okay, so these are somehow qualifying for the state, and this is evaluation futuristic trajectory of state. Okay, and how basically we are finding futuristic trajectory? By solving it. And you might have seen that solution of this class of equation, I am just going to write the solution, or either I can use the common language for the solution. So if you will use the common language, then at that time I have a state transition matrix and xt0, and after that I have some kind of integral from t0 to t, and after that phi t and tau is involved, and after that I have bt into ut. B tau u tau you can write, because I am going to take integral about dt. So this is the generalized solution. Okay, so now try to understand that how many things are involved here. Okay, so in previous class I have told you that whenever I am dealing with a class of system, here you can see that this LTI system, linear time invariant system, is not a just one system, that is class of system. So now what I am telling, that whatever things I am going to discuss here, that is valid for all system or linear time and invariant system. Just you have to worry about A matrix and B matrix, that is changing with respect to system to system. Similar kind of a story about the linear time varying system. Okay, so it means that since I am talking about the class of system, so A and B matrix is also not fixed. Okay, so what happens now, I have different kind of a space. One space you can see that where initial condition is going to lie, and that is going to represent by column vector. Okay, so I have one class of a space that is represented by column vector. Okay, so column space you can tell. Another class you can see that as solution start evolving, they are forming some kind of function. Okay, and this is not a single input single output case, multi input multi output case. So xt is some kind of vector, and that is, so everything is in form of column, but each entry in form of function. Okay, so I have solution that is going to lie in some space which is called function space. Similarly, I am going to talk about different classes of system, and A and B, that is system matrix, and system matrix I am going to represent in form of the matrices. So my space, inside my space, it might possible each entry can be represented like some kind of matrix. It means that whenever I have to cook the linear time invariant system or linear time varying system, I need different form of flavors, different kind of ingredient, and sometime ingredient lie in column space, sometime in function space, sometime in matrix space. And if you know all space together, then only you are able to understand the whole theory behind the linear time varying system or linear time invariant system. So most of time I am assuming that whenever I am dealing with linear time varying system and linear time invariant system, my space is a space of column vector, spaces of functions, and spaces of matrix. Okay, so if you are talking about now a specific class of function, that polynomial function. Okay, so whenever we are talking about polynomial, then still that is fall inside the function only. So I am talking about very generalized object. Now we are in very much troublesome situation. You can see that I have column, some element in column, some element in form of function, some element in form of matrices. So how to operate? Okay, so operation, in order to operate, and suppose that now in place of human being I am going to replace with some machine, and I am telling that machine, now you can analyze the linear time invariant system. It means that machine is going to identify that what is the state, they are also going to find the solution, they are also going to talk about the how to control the system, or before that they are talking about controllability and observability, these kind of all property. Now what I am going to do, I am going to identify using the help of machine. Now you can believe that if machine is going to take situation one by one, then they need separate kind of operation when column vector comes into picture. They have to take separate kind of operation when function comes into picture, and matrix come into picture, then they have to do different kind of operation. And this task is very difficult, because if I allow different language or different operation for column, function, and matrix, then what happens, my hardware complexity is increased a lot. Okay, and after some time I cannot make sure that whatever result that is coming, that is detectable. Because why? You can see here that column vector I am talking, where each entry is constant in case of state, and finally similar way function comes into picture. Okay, so each entry now replaced by function. Okay, it might possible matrix, and each entry of matrix is replaced by function, and inside function again if you see some specific moment, then I have some kind of information like x10, x20, and xn0, something like that. So everything is very much complicated, very much connected. Okay, now question is that how to deal with these all different kind of spaces using some common language. Okay, and vector space is going to give us the platform. Then, and using the same platform, now we are going to operate on column space, function space, matrix space, and they are also give us more flexibility. Now they are telling that whatever way I am going to operate, you can define operation based on your wish. Okay, but they are just telling that in order to make sure that game remains same for everyone, you have to follow these 7 steps, and this step is just a commutativity. You can take 2 elements. Okay, and I will tell you that now whenever I am talking about element might be from column vector, might be from function, might be from matrix, or might be from real number, might be from complex number. So we are not distinguishing between x. Okay, x now you can take from everywhere, any space, from any space you can take x, but this rule should be satisfied. Then only I can tell that my I can able to make sure that machine is working fine. Okay, similarly I have associativity property, and similarly I am going to give this kind of, so these kind of things means this is rule of the game. Okay, so what vector space actually give, they are give us a very elegant way to deal different kind of structure using same platform. Okay, so let us first try to see the definition, and after that I will give you the specific example from each space, from real number, from complex number, from the matrix, from the function and column, and after that I will tell you that only using only one hardware I can able to operate on each and every operation. Okay, even if you will change the operation or way of operation, then same hardware will work. Okay, so each and every time just you have to change the software program and you are able to manipulate column vector, functions, matrix or real number. Okay, so up to here, if anyone has confusion, then please let me know. So in vector space, whenever we are talking about a space, so a space is nothing but element of a space either represented by column vector, functions, matrices, real numbers, complex number, or anything, chemical equations, anything you can tell. Just you have to make sure that these 7 games rule should remain consistent. Okay, now what is mathematical definition for that? This abstraction means now using one bucket they are going to cover everything. Due to that reason, that is called abstraction. So a vector space x, now x might be anything, I don't care about, is a set of element called vectors. So here please do not confuse the vectors from the physics and vectors here, that is different. Okay, in whenever we are talking about vectors in physics, then we are going to talk about the always I have some magnitude and direction. You can see here I am not talking in that terminology. I am going to talk about very general terminology with 2 operation. So I limit myself because using limited hardware I have to do everything. Due to that reason I limit myself on just 2 operation, and first operation is called addition, and this is not really the addition of numbers. Obviously that is the special case. You can take any operation, addition kind of operation, you can take 2 chemical reaction and cooked in any form, and you can tell that in this way I am going to understand that this is the addition. You can take 2 quantum state and you can cook in any way, and you are telling that I am in this way I am going to define the addition. So defining addition is totally depending on you. I will give you certain examples here, because in previous class what we have observed that whenever I have some kind of only positive real number, at that time I have certain kind of restriction with respect to addition when I was talking about the field. Okay, so we are going to see that how basically we can resolve that difficulty just by changing the operation. Okay, defining the operation in different way, and after that you can see here that second operation is called scalar multiplication. You can see that here word scalar is used. Okay, so main theme is that if you are in column space, so you have to give guarantee that you are going to remain the inside column space after the operation. If you are in function space, you have to give guarantee that after doing operation I am remains in that same space, and due to that reason I cannot allow the vector multiplication. I am just allowing the scalar multiplication, because if I start with chemical equation, then end of the day, after scaling that equation, I have to make sure that I am on the same chemical equation. So addition is not going to alter, because whenever you are adding some quantity, it might possible that it is always possible that you are land up to the same quantity, but that is not the story of multiplication of two vector. You have already know about this. If you are in three-dimensional space, now what you can do, you can define multiplication by the cross product, okay, of two vectors. So you might have seen that ij, now in these two plane ij is there, but if you do the cross product of that, then some similar some different we are going to lie in some different space that is perpendicular to this plane. Okay, so we are completely going to leave that plane, and due to that reason, vector space is telling that I am not going to allow this kind of things. It might possible some difficult situation comes into picture for me. I do not able to identify what kind of things is going on. Due to that reason, I can just allow addition or scalar multiplication, because I want to consistent on the same space. Now how to select the scalar? So a scalar one can select from the field theory. Okay, and in previous class we have seen that whenever we are defining the field, at that time addition operation should be satisfy 5 axioms, multiplication except the zero element, okay, zero again that is defined based on the space, again that will satisfy five axioms with respect to the addition multiplication, and after that they will also satisfy two property, distributive property, that is going to capture both operation, addition and multiplication. So here a scalar element we are going to identify from the field, and stacking the scalars I am going to make vectors. You can see here that if I am talking real number, so x1 is one real number, x2 is another real number, I am stacking together and going to form some kind of vector. Similarly here I am stacking at each moment I have number, now I am changing number and I am going to stack inside some kind of column vector, then I have some kind of function. So we are just doing a stacking of the field element. Field element means some kind of a scalar. Okay, anyone has confusion till now? So vector space is gives us some kind of way or some kind of macroscope, such that I can look everything using same macroscope. Okay, and after that I have to remain consistent with finite number of the operations, that is just 2, and just now operation you can define by yourself, that is your flexibility. It means that hardware is given to you, and now you can write the program, and just you have to make sure that these 7 axioms that remains consistent, then that hardware will works fine. That is the main motivation of the vector space for us. Okay, if up to here anyone has confusion, then please let me know, because this is very important to understand. Anyone? Okay, now let us come to the examples part. Okay, so you can see that first example I have taken this set of real numbers. Okay, so what I am going to assume here, that I have one dimensional some quantity that is going to lie in one dimension. Okay, so that is okay. I have some kind of single input single output system. I am telling that input whatever ut that is belongs to R, this is real line. Real line means I have here -1 +1 and whatever in between, everything is there. Okay, so and yt again belongs to R. Okay, and how basically we are defining the addition and multiplication? You know that whenever I am writing 2 plus 3, what does it mean? We are telling that 2 means you can start with the origin, you can take 2 increment. So after 2 increment I am here. Once you are here, then your reference frame is now shifted to here. So from that reference frame you can take 3 increment. So if you take 3 more increment from this particular point, 3 more increment, then you are here. Now you can count increment from here to here. So in this way machine will work, and they will give that I have taken 5 increment. In this way we have defined the addition. Okay, how basically we have defined multiplication? So multiplication we have defined using repeated addition. Okay, so and that way in that way I have defined the multiplication. So if you define in classical way, it is possible to show that again that will satisfy the property of vector space, everything will satisfy. And could you please now tell me quickly that what is identity in this? If a space is just a one dimensional real space, then what is identity element? Anyone? Yes, Yaswant, could you please quickly comment? Suppose I have one dimensional space, then what is identity element with respect to addition?
Sir, 0.
Okay, and with respect to multiplication, what is identity element?
1.
1. So in this way, it means that if I develop some kind of hardware such that is able to manipulate this real number, I am going to now generalize it, that now even if you have, so I am just talking about real numbers, and for time being I am not going to talk about complex number. I will come to the complex number also. And it is possible to show that if hardware is able to understand the operation of real number, so at the same way they can able to understand the operation of complex number also. Okay, just we have to change the software program. Now what we have to do, because most of LTI system or LTV system is multi-input multi-output system, and in that way a state is also, I have more than one state variable, and here input output is also more than one. Okay, so it means that whatever, if we just concentrate on the initial condition, and you can see that initial condition x1 0, x2 0 and xn 0, and you can take another initial condition y1 0, y2 0 and yn 0. So we already well aware that whenever I have linear system, I can apply some kind of input, and I will take some kind of initial condition. Now you can apply another input, you can take another set of initial condition or same set of initial condition and output, then they will satisfy some beautiful property that is called linearity. Okay, so now what I am going to tell you, that suppose I have to manipulate this initial condition. Okay, suppose I have to make sure that this is vector space or not. Now what I have to do, I have to interpret component wise, and it is possible to show that if you will do component wise addition. So you know from the previous case that whenever you have two real number, how to add two real number. So hardware level, I am just going to program to understand that this is hardware level program, and again means actually we are representing this in binary. So for time being you can assume that I have made hardware such that they are able to understand that how to operate on real number. Now whenever you have something in form of column vector, because most of time in multi-input multi-output system I have column vector. Now if software program is telling that this is the first entry, this is the second entry, you can just add it. Again I am adding the real numbers also only. Okay, again how to talk about the multiplication, we are telling that okay, this whole element is going to multiply with some kind of real number, then I have component wise multiplication with each vector's element. Okay, so in this way now there is no need of extra hardware. Okay, what we have to do, we have to just give different interpretation using some kind of software program, and hardware operation remains the same. It means that adding two vectors is not a new operation if you interpret it is in component wise. Anyone has confusion on this? Now suppose you have complex number a plus ib and c plus id, okay, where I is a square root of -1. Now again if I will tell that you can add real number together and imaginary number together, imaginary part together, then again I have to add two real numbers only. So again that is not a new operation for the hardware level. Obviously for software level I have to make sure that how to identify the real number or complex number. Okay, complex real part of the means real part which is purely real, and complex part which is multiplied with iota. Okay, again that is not a new operation. Now let us try to see this. Here I have taken a space of bounded real sequence. Why we have studied this sequence? Because you might have seen during course of the linear modern control theory, we are talking about the stability. And suppose this is discrete time system. Similar kind of a story is also true for continuous time system. But suppose this is discrete time system. So when one can tell that this system is stable, suppose LTS system, linear time invariant system, anyone can comment about it, that when I will tell that this system is stable. Deepak, could you please comment fastly on this point? When one can tell that system is stable? Deepak, are you here? Chanchal? Chanchal, could you please comment on it when system is stable? Chanchal, are you here? Could you please unmute yourself and speak? Okay. Dhaval? Dhaval Dwivedi?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pose should be in left half then.
Okay. Post that is okay. But how basically we can define in terms of input and output? Do you have any idea?
Bounded input will
Yeah,
give the bounded
bounded
input
input
and
will gives us to bounded output. Okay.
output.
So whenever we are talking about bounded input and bounded output, at that time most of time we are going to talk about some sequences. Okay, and it means that I am going to talk about some kind of bounded sequence. Means I have some kind of sequence that is bounded by some kind of maximum number m, that is less than equal to ek less than equal to m for all k. That is the meaning of the bounded sequence. Okay, so what we are going to do, whenever we are going to apply some kind of input to discrete time system, suppose this is discrete time LTI system, then I am going to make sure that whatever input component that is coming from some kind of sequence, and that sequence is bounded. Okay, you can interpret like this also. K1 equal to alpha xk, and suppose that I am assuming that this is first order system. Okay, now at k equal to 0 instant I have this kind of situation, that is alpha x0, and at second k, when k become 1, at that time you can see that at that time I have situation like x1, and I know the x1, that is due to that reason alpha square x0 comes into picture. So what happens that each and every time I am generating some kind of sequences. Okay, now what I am going to confirm that new rule is required in order to deal with this sequence or not. So answer is there is no need to worry about the new rules. Just please check it, that will satisfy the property of the vector space or not. We are lucky that I can give guarantee that you can take now any sequence. Okay, now if you are adding suppose that I have some kind of a space where each entry in form of sequence. Now if I will add two sequences, it is possible to show that one can do the component wise addition. Again I have to just add the real numbers only. Okay, and multiplication means component wise multiplication if you take. Okay, so what we are telling, that a space of bounded real sequence is again form a vector space. Okay, so whenever we are talking about the stability, and at that time we are dealing with sequence, and we are telling that bounded sequence will give us the bounded output. So at that time first we have to make sure that what kind of operation is required to deal with bonded sequence, because whenever you are going to develop some kind of machine, okay, and machine is going to tell you that something is stable or not, at that time you have to define some kind of operations. And again what we are telling, that using same framework I can able to deal with bonded sequence. Okay, so please check that all 7 properties satisfy or not if you are going to deal with some kind of bonded sequence, and it is obvious I think. Okay, Now let us come to the finitely non-zero sequence. Okay, finitely non-zero sequence means, take the previous example only. So I do not have to check up to infinity. Okay, what happens that if you check up to kth instant, at that time I can tell that I am very close to the zero. Okay, at that time it means that I am truncating the sequence, and it is possible to show that again that will form some kind of vector space. Means same way I can able to understand. Now everywhere you have to just understand that how to define zero element, how, what is identity. So these kind of things you have to identify. Okay, so please go through this slide. You are easily able to identify what is identity, how to do addition, how to make sure that each and every exams remains remains consistent. It means that whatever LTI system we are dealing with, either I can talk about the solution, state space representation, or stability, everywhere idea of vector space, they will consistent with respect to idea of vector space. Okay, now let us come to the functions. Okay, now it might possible here, one may think that in order to add to function I need new hardware, but that is not the case if you will define operation in some specific way. Okay, so what basically here we are telling, suppose you have real valued continuous function. Here you can see that I am talking about continuous function. Okay, so function is defined each and everywhere inside this particular interval. Okay, and what is meaning of zero function? So that is zero identically between this interval a and b. Okay, so since I am talking about all real valued continuous function, real valued means after, suppose I have some kind of, how basically we are generating function, we have some kind of independent variable, we are coupling with some rule, and whatever things that comes into picture, I am telling that okay, this is the output of this particular function. So again, if this is real, then this is called real valued function. Okay, I hope that you are able to understand this definition. And you can define real valued function in any interval, any bounded interval. This is called bounded because you can see that close bracket in both side. So now again that will form the vector space. It means that no extra hardware is required to operate two functions. How? If you able to do the pointwise addition, it means that I have two functions. Suppose this is f1 function and this function is f2 function. Now what I am going to tell that I want to operate two function. So how to add two function? So if I will detect these 2 points, and so detecting this point at some time t, you can see that again I have two real numbers because this is real valued function. So if you know the pointwise addition, then no extra operation is required. Okay, similarly, whenever I have to define the scalar multiplication, now I will tell that I will detect the point and scale it out, scale down or scale it up. Okay, in that way I can define the operation. Okay, so software program tells us that how to define the operation, and hardware level no extra hardware is required to deal with. Okay, similar kind of a story about the polynomial. Okay, so sum of two polynomial is polynomial, and if you multiply that polynomial with any element of the real field alpha, that remains the polynomial. So either you can take complex polynomial or real polynomial, means where coefficient is complex or real, same kind of story is there. So anyone has confusion on this, that why whenever I have real valued continuous function, that is going to form some kind of vector space. So in order to form vector space, you can see that here I have to define addition and multiplication in some specific way. If I will change it, then it might possible that will not satisfy the property of vector space. Okay, at that time it might possible I require new hardware also. Okay, so due to that reason, you might now remember your childhood. When we start learning mathematics, first we know how to add two numbers. After that we shift that how to actually deals with some kind of functions, and in higher stage we know that how to deals with some kind of matrices. Okay, and if I know how to add two numbers, Using same way I can able to add to polynomials, to functions, to matrices, everything. Okay, so actually vector space is just telling that kind of thing, that kind of abstraction, that using common language how to operate on almost everything. Okay, now here please do not confuse. Here I am not only talking about the single valued function. It might possible I have, if I have some kind of function that is inside the column vector, so again I will interpret at some particular time they are going to generate some kind of real number also. So what happens, that this function space first map to some kind of a space where I have column vector, and I know that how column vector is going to generate vector space if you will do the pointwise addition. So basically whenever I have some kind of function space where each entry in form of functions, then at some particular time I have again a, at each time point I have some kind of a space, I can assume that as a column space, and after that I can operate each and individually like real number. Okay, so no extra hardware is now required even if I have some kind of function that is multi input multi output function. Okay, now let us come to the Cartesian product of two vector. What happens, that whenever I am representing some kind of system, LTI system, linear time invariant system, and if you read some book you might have seen that that is written like this: x belongs to Rn. What does it mean? They are telling that x1 has n number of component and each component are going to follow the property of real number, and that is in ordered way. So this is Cartesian product, so you can take the n number of time Cartesian product. Okay, and that is represented like this. Okay, so if x is means one component in vector space and another component is in vector space, because I know that real number is going to form vector space and another real number is also going to form the vector space, so it is possible to show that now if you take Cartesian product and if you define addition and multiplication in this way, then again that is going to form the vector space. Okay, so due to that reason, whenever even if I have multi input multi output system, I am directly writing like that, like this, because I know that if I know the Cartesian product of more than one quantity, that can understood like this. Again I am mapping to the real number only. Okay, so whole story boils down to real number only. Okay, so after doing this, it might possible that one natural question comes into picture: why multiplicative structure not imposed inside the vector space? And I have already given one example that you can take some vector inside plane, and if you define the cross product, means multiplication operation by cross product, because operation I can define in any way. Okay, so that gives some kind of operation where what happens, that multiplication of two vectors by cross product that leaves that plane. Okay, so now due to that reason I cannot able to give guarantee that if I am starting with the vector space, I am going to remain the vector space. You can think like this: they are just telling that suppose if I have real number, okay, so after every operation I have to make sure that we are only come up to the real number. Okay, if we are not, then what happens, some difficulty comes into picture, hardware is not going to interpret that. Okay, due to that reason we avoid the multiplication. So they are telling that, they are giving very simple example: suppose you are in two-dimensional space, and two-dimensional space, suppose I will define multiplication like this. So addition I can define like this: alpha beta and gamma beta. At that time I will define addition like alpha plus gamma, in this way ordered pair, beta plus delta. Okay, now multiplication I will define like this. Then what kind of problem basically comes into picture? Even if you will remove the zero, you can see that if you have element like 1 and 0 and another element is 0 and 1, so at least one entry is non-zero. If you do multiplication like this, again 0 element is involved and we have already removed that element. So due to that reason we are telling that inverse, okay, is not possible in case of if you are going to define the multiplicative structure. Okay, similar kind of story happens that if you are taking polynomial and apply the multiplication not in classical way, how basically we are telling that polynomial is going to form the vector space. Whenever we are going to do multiplication means operation, I am going to do with respect to some kind of scalar multiplication only. Okay, if you not allow that, so it might possible, suppose that you have considered some kind of a space where I have some kind of polynomial and the maximum order is 3. Okay, so I have a space where polynomial either in form of p0, p1, p2 or p3. What does it mean? p0, p1, p2, p3. It means that I am talking about this kind of polynomial alpha 1 x cube, alpha 2 x square, alpha 3x, something like that, means maximum order is 3. So suppose inside this space I have polynomial in this form. If you allow the multiplication operation, you can see that p3 and p2 multiply and they will give us p5. So fifth polynomial is not going to lie inside this space. Okay, but if you just allow a scalar multiplication, so if a scalar quantity is multiplied here with any polynomial, then they are not going to leave the space. So actually most of time we are giving limited information to hardware. So if you are allowing multiplication operation between two element of the vector space, not the operation of one element with some kind of a scalar, then it might possible that will leave that space. And due to that reason, we are not assuming that multiplicative kind of a structure inside the vector space. We have just two operations. One is vector addition and another is the scalar multiplication with respect to the field, and a scalar element is we are taking from the field. Okay, so for us field is just a real number. All operation we are going to do with whenever we are dealing with linear system, non-linear system or any class of system, we are going to assume that field is either real number or complex number. We are not going beyond that. Okay, but now we are going to construct some kind of chemical computers. At that time I have to change that field. Okay, so that part I am not going to deal in this course. Okay, now let us try to see that up to here what we have seen, that almost everywhere I am telling that how to generate some kind of vector space. So we have to understand some counter example also, that if I will change the operation, then each by changing that operation my vector space remains consistent or not. Okay, so first example, that is due to that reason I am writing here pretender. It looks like vector space but that is not really. So fbc, I have taken field element as a complex number. Okay, it is possible to show that complex number is going to satisfy all property of field. Okay, all 12 property that will satisfy. Due to that reason, that is okay. And addition and multiplication we are going to understand in component wise here also. And v be the set of c, again complex number. So defining addition c as usual way, so it means that alpha plus j beta, or j is here square root of -1, or iota you can write, gamma plus delta j delta. Then component wise I am going to understand the addition, but I have changed the multiplication like this for time being. We are telling that a scalar multiplication is now going to define like this. So I am taking vector addition and a scalar multiplication, but I have redefined the scalar multiplication. And you can see that if you do that, then distributive log is going to fail. Okay, so even if we are telling that in some space, if we have two operation, vector addition or a scalar multiplication, then that is not always a vector space. That might be pretender. Pretender means you can see that all other property of vector space is satisfy only except the distributive property. It is possible to show. So please do by yourself. Okay, similar kind of pretender here I have now redefined the, suppose that f be a field and let v is f2. Okay, means ordered pair, and after that I am going to define the multiplication, a scalar multiplication like this. And it is possible to show that again a scalar entity will fail. Please check it. Okay, so in this way it is possible to show that if you are changing the operation, okay, then even if I have a scalar multiplication or vector addition, then also I lose the property of the vector space. Okay, here this example is a little bit more interesting, because what I am telling here in this particular example, that in this particular example I am telling that in here, that suppose I have just a positive real number, okay, and field here you can see that I have taken all kind of real number. Is this slide is visible to everyone?
No, sir. Slide has
No,
gone.
the slide is not.
Okay, some problem with active presenter actually, so please just, or one note has some problem. Okay, just please wait for 1 minute. Full screen mode. Okay, so now here you can see that field f I have considered as a real number, but vector space, inside vector space I am telling I just have positive real number. Okay, and if I just have positive real number, you can see that I have some kind of issue. Okay, if I have just positive number, real number, so I cannot tell that I have some set of positive real number like 1, 2, 3. Then what is inverse of that? Because -1, -2 and -3 is not going to lie there. Okay, due to that reason, now I have to change the operation, and you can see here that I have changed the both operation, multiplication operation as well as addition operation. And if you define in this way, it is possible to show that all property, okay, of vector space is going to satisfy. Okay, so in this way, whenever something is not going to follow the property of vector space, means suppose I want to write some kind of new algorithm such that that is compatible with my hardware, so you can allow to write, okay, provided that will all satisfy the property of vector space. So I can now define new operation. If I have positive number, then addition is just like multiplication, and you can see that multiplication is b power alpha, then that will satisfy all property of vector space. You can see that associativity is obvious here, because either you can multiply alpha, add alpha plus beta, then alpha beta, and that is just multiplication of two real numbers, so I can write beta into alpha. So all property will satisfy. After that, now here you can see that existence of identity element. So one is the identity, I have proved that, and existence of inverse, that is also obvious, and commutativity is also obvious. A scalar multiplication, if you see, again all property, a scalar multiplication is satisfied, and again all property of the scalar multiplication and addition of vectors, that is also satisfied. So please check it, do your homework, that why if I define operation like this, then I can able to deal with the, again with the this kind of vector space. Okay, now here I have given one more example, that is pretender. Pretender means that is not completely a vector space. Suppose that if your field is complex, and whatever vector where each entry is a complex number, and if you define the multiplication like this, okay, again it is possible to show that will not satisfy the associative property. So please check it. Okay, now what I am going to tell, it is time to conclude the today's lecture. So what basically we have actually learned in today's lecture, that we have seen that in hardware level, minimum number of operation, we are going to develop some kind of system where if I know some kind of primitive operation, I know how to operate on real number, then how to extend it for more general case. Because what we found that whenever I have some kind of real number, I can stack real number together, then how to do operation I don't know. So again I will do pointwise, and just you can see that what we have to make sure that whatever property of vector space that is satisfied, means machine is not going to violate any law. Okay, so main theme of vector space, they will gives us the idea that how to transform some complicated quantity into some very simple quantity, such that I can develop some kind of machine. Okay, anyone has confusion on this, then please let me know. Anyone? Okay, if you don't have confusion, then in next class I will tell you some more definition from the now I am going to talk about the subspace, linear combination, and after that I will tell you that what is application of this to our LTI system or LTV system. Okay, so up to now what we have seen that using vector space, at least I understood that how to represent our LTI system. So I have three different kind of space: column space, I have function space, I have matrix space, and operation. Operation is nothing but just operation of real number, and just we have to actually interpret everything in point wise. Okay, so I can realize this kind of system using some kind of hardware platform as well as computer program. Okay, so that is the main motivation of the today's lecture. So with this remark, lecture is in from my side. If you have any specific question, then please let me know. Now what you can do, you can go through several examples from mathematics book and try to understand that how to define operation. So these kind of things are actually linear algebra is very well established subject in mathematics as well as application domain. So now you can go through any book, you are able to understand, now you are able to feel the definition. Okay, so with this remark I am going to end the today's lecture. Thank you very much.